Cruising down the river, been here before, just trying to find a big one. I've seen her out here before, a sucker the other day, but she keeps getting away. Gonna catch ya, keep her near, I feel lucky today.
Welcome to Fishing Time, hosted by Crab Claw Lartigue with Lartigue Seafood, Orange Beach, Alabama, where we show you tips, tools, and rules, hooks, weights, and baits, the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly, and why safety is so important. So today, we're going to show y'all my technique on how to throw a bait casting net. A bait casting net can save you money, you can catch more fish, you can eat more fish, and have a family fun time doing it. Alright, I want to try to show y'all the different sizes of different types of cast nets. And you know, when I was a young fella, you know, I started out using a 4-foot net. It's not a real big net. It's only 4 foot, side to side, with an 8-foot radius, with a 5/8 inch mesh, which is a very small mesh. Which majority of the time this net's going to be good on the bank. It's going to be good for finger mullet. You know, if you're off the shore, if you're off a pier, I wouldn't recommend to use a 4-foot net in a boat like we're out here right now. But well, I'm going to give you a couple of techniques on how to throw a 4-foot net first with a 5/8 inch mesh. And maybe we can get lucky enough to catch one of these pogies out of this 4-foot net, which we tried earlier. It needs a little bit bigger radius. I'm gonna give y'all a little technique. If you're a junior out there, you always, you know, usually a cast net has a whole loop at the end. And what you want to do is you want to feed it through where you have another hole where it grabs and tightens up to your wrist. And then with a smaller net, like this is only a 4-foot net with an 8-foot radius with a 5/8 inch mesh, short, tangle-free loops. What you want, as you can see, it kind of looks like cowboy style, you know, it kind of looks like old John Wayne kind of rounding them up, you know what I'm saying? All organized, all tangle-free. Grab the O-ring. And then with a small net, you know, I'd probably say, you know, maybe about 35–40% with an open hand. Now what I like to do is I like to roll it back around my rope with an open hand with my thumb on top. And then I'll have it, what I want to do is I want to get the rotation and I want to drop my left hand down. I want to come over the top with the right. You want to get a small rotation, release up high, and let her set to the bottom. Of course, that's a 4-foot net with an 8-foot radius. Let her set to the bottom. When she sets, tug her a little bit. Empty-handed on this net right here, but like I said, this net is designed, the shoreline is designed to be waiting in the water when you see those mullet fish, you know, going through the bankside. You know, this 4-foot net will catch some bait fish, but just real quick, we'll go back down, we'll grab it with an open hand, we'll flag it over and around, and I like to have my thumb come back up on top. So you're coming up, you're coming around with the thumb back on top, and you want to spread out a little bit. And as you can see from the back side, I'm pretty much tangle free. I mean, if it looks like it's got some knots in there, you need to start over and do it again. But right now she looks tangle free. I want to get a little bit of rotation. And my lead hand is my left hand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with it up high, and then she's going to come back down low, and my right hand's going to go over the top. So what I want to do is swing her on the top. A little bit of rotation. Down, up, release up high. Let her settle to the bottom. When she she settles to the bottom. Tug her a couple of licks. I don't feel anything in there. This is really not the right net. I'm fixing to show you the right net here in just a second. And when you're tying your net up, you'll always, grab the O-rings. That straightens it out. When it straightens out, grab it from the bottom. This is when you want to store it. And then wrap it around all the way through, line and all. It'll keep it tangle free. And then, at the end, you can just loop it right through. Keep her nice and tucked. That's the 4-foot net. Now, that's the 4-foot net, which is good for starting out, good for juniors, good for anybody who wants to learn how to throw a small net. Now, what I want to do next is I'm going to pull out my 7-foot net. Now, my 7-foot net, this net was 4 foot with an 8-foot radius. With my 7-foot net, I'm going to have 14-foot radius, which is going to give a lot more coverage area to catch these fish. Throw from the right side, cinch her up nice and tight, pull her in, tangle free. Always grab the O-ring. The O-ring is really your savior. And then what you want to do is come down about, now this is a 7-foot net, I'd come down about 40%. I like to come down 40%. And there again, I will rotate it back around with an open hand. Now I've got 14-foot radius right here, so I'm hoping and thinking that this bad boy's going to catch us some pokey fish. So let's see what happens. Get your rotation. You always want to be sure the left hand is the feed hand. It's the one that goes first. And the right hand comes over the top, and you want to have a frisbee kind of action going on. You want this net to spin, so when she gets up in there, she'll spin and fan out. A couple of little rotations. Raise it up high. Let her settle to the bottom. I kind of threw it a little bit too far out. I think I kind of snapped her a little bit. Coming back in, I was throwing my mullet net. Bullet Bob had me throwing this 20-pound net a while ago, and he said, you got to throw it as hard as you can. But here, let me see. Drain her out. 40%. I'm going to slow her down this time. I slowed her down a little bit and she fanned out. Every net has different weights on the bottom. Some nets, if it's heavier, you have to throw it stronger. This one here, I'm still I'm waiting to feel that shake in the bait, which I'm not feeling it. We're out of the bait. Let's see. As you can see, she's still tangle free. The technique that I like to use is real quick and fast and easy. And it didn't get all the goo-goo on me. A lot of people like to put it in their mouth, like that. And I've seen a lot of people come out snaggletooth, But this technique here, shake her out. Sometimes the line will get kind of caught up, in the net. Let her settle down to the bottom. Hopefully you'll feel a little bit of action going on, which I'm not feeling it right now. Practice, practice, practice is what we need. So what we're going to do, also what we need to do is we need to move down. I got Captain Sonny on the wheel. He's going to move us forward. Once we started, practicing around, I think we scared the bait fish off. But what we will do, before it's all said and done, we gonna catch some more bait fish right here on Fishin Time. We on top of them now. They all around the boat. We're gonna try again. About 40%. Make sure she's tangle free. All the way around. She looks to be tangle free. Wrap her around. hopefully we can catch some old pokey fish. We go fishing. We're trying to go fishing. We gotta have the bait in order to go fishing. Got a couple. Let me see something real quick. Wrap it back down. Top. Sometimes you gotta flag that rope so she don't get tangled in. Hopefully you feel a little jump in the jump. Got a little jump in the jump. Nothing to brag on. This net here drags slower. What I'm fixing to show y'all the difference on a heavyweight net compared to a try one more time. He still wants to get tangled up. I mean, you're not going to throw perfect pancakes every time, you know. But with practice, make sure your line's tangle free. Grab her about 35–40%. Wrap her around. Let her spin. Let her settle to the bottom. Hopefully we can feel a little jump. Because I know we into fish. I don't feel a jump. Hold on. I got a little jump. With this net right here, that's about all you're going to do. You're going to catch. It's a slow sinking net. Sometimes it's good to have a slow sinking net. What I'm fixing to do now is I'm fixing to show you the bogey killer of all times. Grab her about, on a taller net, I think I need to grab her about 45–50%. Back around. Get my rotation. Spin her up high. About a 3/4 moon. I'm still looking for that full moon. I want the full moon action going on. Hold on a second. I'll get a full moon here in a second. But as you can see, you know, with a bigger mesh, with heavier weight, you're gonna catch more fish. Even though that was a 3/4 moon, it'll still produce fish. But I'll tell you what, I want a full moon. Everybody knows what a full moon looks like. Full moon, baby. Got it. Finally. If it's far enough off the boat. A little bit short. Let them settle to the bottom. Always got to make sure you got all kind of tangles. But as you can see the difference between a 5/8 inch mesh and a 1-inch mesh with heavier weight. If you're in a boat, you're gonna catch more fish. Let me see let me do it one more time. I'm gonna show y'all one more time because I'm about to get wore out. You can see the sweat dribbling. So we'll come from the top. All right, here we go. Go down about 45–50%. Wrap it around with an open hand. Release low, high first, and then low, and this one goes low and then goes high. Another one of them 3/4 moons. But when they're thick out here, I can just rest assured that I got more fish.